Jai Gurudev students. Today we will continue Geography lesson 10 of class 6 and the name of the lesson is Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. In previous class we studied about the introduction of the lesson and even in our improvement class we have studied this lesson with introduction, main points, and we also studied about the different types of forest in detail. Today, first let me give you few points about the lesson, about the topic which we studied in previous class. In previous class, I gave the introduction about the natural vegetation and wildlife. I told you the meaning of natural vegetation means different types of trees and plants, but natural means trees and plants grow on their own and not planted by the human beings. Now you can tell ma'am how do they grow on their own, like especially in desert and forest, trees grow on their own through different types of climates. Because of some climates and because of some situations, they grow on their own, especially forest and jungle. There the trees grow on their own and they increase in number on their own. And then we will also study about the wildlife later on after this natural vegetation. In previous class we have studied about the different types of three forests we have studied, that is tropical evergreen forest. These forests are very dense, that means they are very thick, and the rainfall here it is of 100 to 200 centimeters, that means too much of rainfall is there. And as you know that wherever the rainfall is more, the plantation is more, because the main thing which plants need to grow is water. Apart from water also they need even sunlight and other things, but still water is the main thing which they need to grow. And with plenty of water, naturally the plants will grow more, so these forests are dense. And next we studied about the monsoon or deciduous forest. These forests are not very dense and they are used, and that means they are cut for commercial purposes. And in monsoon and deciduous forest the rainfall is nearing less than 100, or we can tell it is 200. So it is not very dense and it is used for commercial purposes. Commercial purpose means for business purposes, that is people come and cut the trees for their own interest. And then we also studied about the scrub forest and desert vegetation. These forests here, the rainfall is between 50 centimeters to 100 centimeters, and even they are not very dense, they are scanty. And in West Bengal, and here it is the word desert vegetation. Scrub forest and desert vegetation means these we found in few of the states like Rajasthan, Gujarat and some other places. And the main point about this forest is the stems of these trees are fleshy. Like example, cacti or cactus, which we even now tell aloe vera. This is the main plant found here, and the stem of it is very fleshy, means whenever we see the flesh, it is full of water. And this is the main tree of this forest, because it can survive without water for longer time. So it is growing in desert where hardly we find vegetation and even water. Now these are the three forests we have studied in previous class. I have explained you the few important points which we have already discussed in previous class. In this present class, we will study about the tide and mangrove forest, and we will also study about the mountain forest and the importance of the forest and the conservation of the forest. Today we will study about the tidal and mangrove forest. Tidal and mangrove forest.
तू चलेंगे यार आज 5 बजे। मैं रेडी मिलूंगी, तू आएगा अपन चलेंगे। और तेरे को बाहर से जो खाना है तू खा ले।
Tidal and mangrove forests are found along the sea coast. Tidal and mangrove forests, they found in sea coast of the major rivers, that is Ganga, Godavari, Krishna and Mahanadi. These are the major rivers where we find this tidal forest. And in West Bengal, they are called as Sundarbans. They are called as Sundarbans in West Bengal because the name of the Sundari tree is found here. So it is known as Sundarbans in West Bengal, and the trees which are here of hardwood, and they are used for making boats. They are used for making boats. The trees which we found here are so hard that they are used for making boats. Few points I have explained you about the tidal and mangrove forest. Now we will see the mountain forest. Mountain forests are found in eastern Himalayas. They are found in eastern Himalayas. They are found in eastern Himalayas and have hardwood trees. Hardwood trees and they are found in eastern Himalayas, and in few places, as we all know, there is too much of snow coverage on mountains, and in some areas nearing to 6,000 meters snow is covered. So the vegetation is very less in that particular area. And in some areas we find few trees. They are of very hardwood trees. They are oak, cashew nuts, and then we can see even spruce, cedar, pine, and bushes and scrubs. Bushes and scrubs and cedar, pine and cashew nut. These are the few trees which we find in this mountain forest.